So you may think the only way to make 10K plus per month is getting a degree, getting an e-commerce business, trading, doing YouTube. There are some people making 10K plus per month just working at a restaurant, being a fine dining server. So we're going to check out one of those today and maybe open up your idea to another career path that people don't directly talk about too often. You don't hear about too often.
To making over $10,000 a month as a fine dining server in Las Vegas. And getting to that point wasn't easy, but it was really actually quite simple. Because in the restaurant business, there's no promotions and there's no raises. You get your minimum wage, but the tips are on you. And the harder you work, the better you are at your job, the more money you will make along the way. Now, the hardest part of all of it, for me at least, was listening to everyone else.
There's something satisfying about how straightforward of the process that is, right? Because he's going to get into it, he's going to explain it, but you become a better server, people like you more, and they're going to pay you more in tips. And the higher the ticket price of whatever restaurant you go into in the U.S., the higher chance there is of them paying you a high tip. But it's also dependent upon how much of a person you are that they actually like, how likable of a person you are. What's your gregariousness? How gregarious are you? You know, how friendly are you? How much do they actually enjoy the service that you provide them? It's a big element of yourself.
When am I going back to school? When am I going to get a real job? And for a long time, I let those voices get in my head, and I didn't take it as seriously as I could, or as I should. And it was when I decided to really look at it as a career and to embrace the fact that I just love working in restaurants. And I believe that restaurant work is noble, and I believe that we're not getting replaced by AI anytime soon. I switched my mindset around, and I started pushing to get better at my job.
There's definitely probably a case for them not getting replaced by robots because they're in fine dining. Fine dining is a very human experience. It's not something you're going to want to have replaced by robots unless there are some Detroit Become Human robots that essentially feel like humans. Because a part of the experience after you pay all that money is having a real person tend to you, care for you, and make sure that your food's good and your service is great. It makes sense for fast food workers to get replaced or people in smaller restaurants to get replaced by robots, but not fine dining. So I think he's got a point there.
And I would like to take you on the path of how I got there. Because the normal progression is to start at a casual restaurant. For me, it was Chili's. Chain place, pretty easy to get hired at, great spot to get your foot in the door. And you move up from there. You trade in your lunch shifts for your dinner shifts. You trade in mid shifts for opens and closes. You trade in Tuesdays and Wednesdays for Fridays and Saturdays. And then when you've maxed out all of that, you trade in that job for a new job. Now, the normal progression is to start at that casual type place, find somewhere a little bit more upscale, a little bit higher price point, or a little bit higher volume. And then you move up to that higher volume or higher price point again. Because here's a quick breakdown of the math. If you're working 5 days a week, you need to make $400 a day to make $2,000 a week to make $100,000 a year. Now you can make it on volume or you can make it on price point. And I think that out of the two, making it on price point is the better quality of life that goes along with it. Now, you can always do it from two jobs as well. If you're willing to hustle and you can find that $150 a day lunch shift with that $250 a day.
I don't think people see this as being like the career path that it is. Like the sky's the limit with actually becoming a chef, the person behind the scenes cooking the food. There's also like genuine levels that you can progress through as a server, and the pay increases as you go. And I have a friend who's learning how to trade, and his job while he's learning to trade, while he's getting there, is being a server, and he's seen increasing wages through job to job, place to place that he's gone. But it's genuinely a career path. It's not just a teenager job, this, that's. It's probably such a good opportunity because people see it as that, because it's stuck in that category.
A dinner shift to go along with it, there's your 400. But there are also plenty of restaurants out there where the check average is $100+ per person, which is really going to increase your income ceiling. Now, some of the best places to find those higher check averages and some of the easier places to get hired are steakhouses. The menus are pretty consistent across the board. You don't need to know another language or a huge amount about food to get your foot in the door. And the best part is, there are a lot of them out there.
I'm going to do a video on steakhouses soon because they're a crazy, low-key, evergreen business that has just been pumping out money forever. And it's going to continue to do so because Americans especially aren't giving up our steaks. There's no time soon is there going to be a day where we stop eating steaks. And I don't know about a robot making my steak. I just don't know. I'm sure it's going to be good, but there's something about it.
If you look at chain restaurants in that $100 per person price point, most of them are steakhouses, and they're going to be in big cities in every single state in the country. If you look at Eddie V's Steakhouse, they've got 29 locations. The Palm has 30. Those are the smaller ones. You've got Capitol Grill with 62 locations, Fleming's with 65, Morton's with 72, and Ruth's Chris has 150 locations around the world. These are spots to aim for as you're moving up. But in order to move up, you have to look at what you do from a very analytical perspective, because a lot of people think that they're the best server. That's a very generic and very bold statement. What are you the best at? Now, when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a Major League Baseball player. And that didn't happen. Here I am. But you know what? It gives a different perspective. Because if you look at a baseball card and you flip it on the back, you've got all those stats of different categories. Because one person is not the best at everything. But the stats on the back of that card let you look at each type of metric and see where you rank against your coworkers, where you rank against other people, and where you rank against yourself at your last job or even just your last shift. So what does a baseball card look like for servers? Well, here's a way to look at it. I put 8 different categories on here, and these are 8 different points that you can judge yourself on and try to improve on a day-to-day basis. Number 1 is hospitality, because we work in a business where you get about an hour and a half to turn a stranger into a friend or turn that guest into a regular, and that's going to keep your station full night after night. The actual service is number 2. Are you hitting your courses? Are you hitting your accurate steps? Are you getting your timing down? Is your mise en place in place? Are you pre-bussing your tables? All those things make for a better guest experience.
Pre-bussing the tables.
Number 3 is accuracy, because mistakes cost you time and cost you and the restaurant money. Ringing your food properly, process your payments accurately, handle that cash every time. Number 4 is volume. Can you handle getting double sat, triple sat, or more? Can you take large parties, 10, 15, 20, and accurately find your way through them?
That's low-key a difficult thing to juggle. I don't know. You know, there's some basic jobs that you'll look at and you'll be like, okay, that's simple. There's something straightforward. Any basic job that looks simple to you, that where you have to interact with humans, it increases the complexity instantly. No matter who you are, no matter how extroverted you are, juggling the requests of multiple people, having their temporary fates, within the palm of your hand, you know,
with a minimal amount of help.
It's rough.
Number 5, the menu. How well do you know yours? If someone has a dietary restriction or an allergy, can you find your way through the meals that they're able to eat? Can you recommend a cocktail or a glass of wine that's going to be appropriate for what they're looking for and goes with their dinner? Number 6, are you a good teammate? Are you handling your section? Are you helping out your coworkers when they get busy? Are you doing your side work and your polishing? Do people actually like working with you? Number 7, what do you know about food? Not just what's on your menu, but can you talk in detail about different types of steak or seafood or the best bite of food you had, even if it's at a different restaurant? And number 8, wine and spirits. Not just what's on your menu, but if somebody orders a classic cocktail or a prohibition drink, can you walk them through the ingredients and find what they're looking for? If somebody has a favorite wine that you don't serve, can you make that great recommendation and find something on your list that they are going to love? It takes a whole lot of humility to look at yourself in all these different aspects.
I think another thing is most of us have not had really good servers. Like, we might have had an experience with one our entire lives that we barely remember. But we haven't had like a server that goes beyond and beyond what's expected of them. I think most servers are pretty mediocre in terms of the service that they provide. They're going to get you what you ask for, and that's going to be it. There's not going to be more than that. And some people like that. Some people want that. They don't want to be bothered when they're eating. They don't want to be bothered when they get their food or after they make their order. So it's understandable. And if a server can read a room, then that's a part of being a good one. But there's some servers that just go over the top, know just how much to push, just how much to offer to be of genuine value to the family that they're serving. And I don't think we forget about them too soon. You know, you might have forgotten about your best one, but
the things that you can do better. But if you're willing to take that time and reflect on it and treat serving like a career and be better than you were the day before, you're going to be on that path to making $5,000-$10,000 a month or more. I hope you'll follow along.
so very simple, very sweet and short, very straightforward. The idea is that you start at a lower steakhouse, you start at some place that's going to allow you to get some experience, get your foot into the door. Not with the intention of making the most money there, like any career, but with the intention of becoming a really good server, knowing your menu, maybe even preparing for the next menu that you want to get, and then you slowly level up. And he said that the two major things are either going to be volume or the average price per plate. Both of them make absolute sense in terms of you just doing numbers and averages for how much you could potentially make. Also, a lot of this money, untaxed, right? Right? A lot of this money is cash to person, cash to hand. You know? Maybe cash app, but still, yeah. So that's a major advantage because even if you have a worse day compared to somebody who went to their job and worked 12 hours and then got taxed, you're doing pretty well. You know, the lack of benefits, that is a problem at certain places, but those payments might make up of it. Make up for it. Those lack of taxes might make up for it. Yeah, that's all.